Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching this video. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn the little bell on so you get notifications. I only post every now and again, a few times a month, usually only once to 2 times a month. So it really does help if you guys turn the notifications on and know that I have actually uploaded and therefore you can watch it. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just get right into it today. I am gonna do a get ready with me? Get ready with you? Wow, I don't know what these are called anymore. I'm getting worse instead of better. A get ready with me video, that is what you're in for today. So we will just be trying on some makeup. I will be telling you what inspired this, and that's about it. So around a month ago, I was driving around LA. Well, I'm always driving around LA, but there's all these huge billboards all over the side of the freeways from beauty creations advertising their foundation. Billboards were all over LA, so if you were driving on basically any highway, I feel like you saw this. It may have been mainly the 405 or the 5, probably the 5, because yeah. But anyway, there was at least one, if not a few, huge billboards for beauty creation. I am not familiar with this brand, so one day as I'm sitting in traffic, I decided to look them up. I was not driving, I was a passenger at this point. And so I decided to look them up, and they were doing like free samples, but they weren't really free. Like you paid for shipping or something. I don't even know what the deal was, but either way, I paid a couple of dollars, not very much, to try their foundation. Came in this little package thingamajigger. It took about a week to get it in, and I've just sat here and not opened it forever and ever and ever. I finally opened it last week because I had a little bit of time. What was inside was like this little paper and these 4 little, so I had picked 4 shades. I believe it was like 4 sample shades. So what I did is I asked for 3 that I thought were about my shade, but it's so hard to tell online. So I kind of went all over the place. I went with 7.0, 4.5, and 6.0. So I kind of went on the darker, in the middle, and then on the lighter side so I could mix if I needed to. And then I did want to get a contour shade just for funsies, so I got the 10.5. One thing I will say, and I realize that these were basically free. I get that. So okay, beggars can't be choosers, right? But I did pay for them to send them to me. So I mean, they weren't 100% free. I would expect them to have like filled up the little bottles. I don't know if you can see how, like, this is literally a blob, guys, a blob. I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to do with this. Like, I can't do anything with that. 6.0, again, it was a slightly bigger blob, if you can see it, just slightly bigger. But again, like, nothing. The one that they gave me the most of is the S7.0. Wasn't that much more. This one I did try out last night. So I tried this one out last night just because it was the one that there was the most of and I could put it all over my face, because the other ones, I don't even think there's enough to do a full face of makeup. I really don't. We're about to find out though. This is what, like, this is how much came in the 6.0. This is how much came OF in the 4.5. So literally like nothing. Like, why waste the plastic? I don't understand. I mean, you don't have to fill them to the brim or anything, but just like enough to do a full face, you know? And they did give me plenty of the 10.0, which is ironic because that's like the color I wanted to use as a contour, right? This is the one I needed the least of, but whatever. So my point is, thanks, I guess, for the samples. I thought it was a really smart, like, marketing tool. Like, you click on their website and the first thing that pops up is like that foundation, which is all over the billboards, and then it's like, try us for free or something like that. So I thought that was really smart of them, because I don't know who they are, but I was not impressed by what they sent. I just wish they would have sent enough for one full face of makeup of each color. Like, I would have been happy with that, you know? Anyway, I'm complaining, I guess. I did try the 7.0 last night, and to be honest, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. So I figured, since I wanted to share this information with you guys anyway, that I would just try it again. So today I'm gonna mix colors because last night it was a little bit darker than like I am. So I'm gonna mix some colors, and I guess mixing them, there should be enough for a full face of makeup. I'm gonna take the 6.0. I'm gonna see if there's enough in here to like do my face. If not, then whatever. I'll live. I'll be fine. 6.0 is darker than what I would normally use for my winter color as well, but that's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. A little dark. So I'm not 100% on this foundation. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't dislike the way it lays. I think it's okay. I do think it lays a little bit on top of the skin. What does that mean? Obviously foundation is always on top of your skin, but there's some foundations that like you put on and they just look like your skin, but better. It doesn't look like you're wearing a layer of foundation, if you know what I mean. Like, you know you are, people that know you well know you are because your skin's not that perfect, but like they just look more natural. So I feel like this one in person, I'm not sure what's coming off on the camera, but in person, I do feel like you can definitely tell like, yeah, I'm wearing makeup. There's no doubt about it. And I don't think I put that much on. I don't think I went too heavy-handed on it, but I did want to put as much as I would normally put of any foundation, you know what I mean? And then, so a lot of times when that does happen, I also feel like it happens with matte foundations on my skin because I have such dry skin. So I feel like with matte foundations, it does tend to lay on my skin and be much more like foundation-y looking. So it could be that this is a matte foundation. I actually don't recall at this point. Basically, I can very much see it on my skin and not in like, I don't know, you know what I mean. It just doesn't look particularly natural. And I do like a much more natural finish. I really did prep my skin as much as I could for a matte foundation because after using it last night, I had the same feeling. I felt like maybe it's too matte and I didn't have my skin well enough moisturized. So I went super heavy on moisturizers this morning. I did skin oils. I did everything possible to hydrate my skin as much as possible. And to give my skin kind of a slip so that way when matte foundations go on it, it just looks better on my skin that way. And I still feel like it doesn't look fully matte because of that reason, but it still looks heavier than I would like it to look. It still didn't seep in and look more natural, which is what I was hoping would happen when I was properly moisturized. So anyway, that's my 2 thoughts on the Beauty Creations foundation. But since we're here, let's take that dark shade and let's do a little contour. This is pretty dark. All right, we're just gonna do it. All right, contour is on. So my face does look defined. I feel like there's portions of it that look a little bit muddy, and that could have been just the laziness of using one brush. But this 10.5, I actually do think if you're about my skin shade, which is medium-ish, medium to light sometimes, I feel like it would work well. I feel like it's pretty neutral. It's not too orange, but it's not too graying. So it's a decent shade for contouring. Oh, that's foundation for now. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm kind of in mixed feelings territory right now. I'm gonna do some concealer and then we're gonna do the eyeballs. I am going to mix the L'Oreal Full Wear Infallible. By the way, I really didn't see much hype on this concealer, and I want you guys to know that this is right up there for me with Shape Tape. Like, I feel like it's really, really freaking good. It's about $10, and I think this shade, which is Cashew, it's Cashew. Here, just so you guys know I'm not crazy. Like, I was reading the French version of it. Anyway, Cashew. Shade 365. I think it's just slightly too dark for me for my concealer, but it doesn't do a really good job covering the dark circles, so almost like a corrector. So I'm gonna mix this with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in medium beige, which is a little too light. The only thing I will say about both of these is that they are on the matte side and they are kind of drying. For someone with dry skin, that can be a little bit tricky. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. So for someone with dry skin, that can be a little bit tricky, I think, but I still really like them. I just do. That's all I could say about it. So my trick for using matte concealers when I really like the coverage, but I have really dry skin, so that can be a little bit of an issue for me. So what I usually do is, one, I try not to go too heavy-handed. I like how I say that, and I like just keep putting more on anyway. So I try to not go too heavy-handed. That way there's less chance of it drying me out too much. When I pat it in, you guys will see in a minute, I try to use a very, very moist sponge. But I use my setting spray. So my setting spray is a mixture of glycerin and water and vitamin E oil and squalene and some pretty tough or some pretty hardcore moisturizers. So I try to use that setting spray to really soak my little tiny beauty blender. Actually, it's a Morphe sponge. And then I kind of pat it in that way. And I feel like that seems to work okay most of the time. Sometimes my under eyes are so dry that I regret just using the matte concealers. But I would say 8 times out of 10, it works out. Trying to make sure there's as much moisture on this thing as possible. As much moisture. Like sometimes I legit just do this, which I'm gonna do anyway. Let's just do it, why not? So now my skin's moisturized. Oh, and there's aloe vera juice in here. So anyway, all sorts of good moisturizers for dry skin, especially during the winter. Ugh. And then I just pat this in. I've been trying really hard to be more gentle with my poor skin. I realize I am not a spring chicken anymore. I'm getting old and I really, 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 really want to avoid wrinkles as much as possible. So I'm trying to do better at being nice to my skin, especially around the eyes, because that's like the first to go. All right, I am not gonna lie, I feel like it's still looking too dry. My little trick, remember I said 8 times out of 10, and of course it's gotta be like that one of those, you know, non-10 times. We're gonna let that settle because sometimes it does take time to like sink in and then it gets better. So moving on to the eyes. So this has a story as well. So I was, as we do sometimes, just browsing Instagram and they clearly know where my heart is. And there was an advertisement for this Dose of Colors little kit. So it was a kit that contains the Wild and Free Dose of Colors, what is it called? Party Block shadows, which I told myself not to buy any more of because they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, but man, they crease like crazy on me. So I told myself no more. But then this kit sucked me in because it was like $50 and you got this shadow, which is normally like 20 something on its own. You got a full lip liner, which I know is over $10 on its own. You got a full eyeliner, which again, I know is probably in the 15 or more range on its own. And you got a sand liquid lip and a Dolly lip gloss. So I knew all of these together were at least worth close to $100. So I totally got sucked in. I was like, how can I not do it? Don't do that, guys. Have self-control. Do it. Self-control is a good thing. Mine's out the window right now. But let's give this a shot anyway. So this is the first time I've tried the Dose of Colors eyeliners. I really, really like it. I mean, granted, pencil eyeliners, there's various factors that go into it. Not only how it comes on, it's how it stays and how pigmented it is. Obviously, those are the three things for me that really matter. And also how bad it runs on the bottom lash line. So basically, first impression of it is that I really, really like it. It's very pigmented. It did a really good job on my waterline on my tight lining. So that's like the inside like this. So it did a good job. It's there, I can see it. So I like that. So yeah, I will follow. I think this is gonna be like a follow-up video. I'll come back and check in and kind of let you guys know how it went, since everything I'm putting on is almost brand new except for concealer. All right. I've been staring at this foundation more and more and more. It just came to me what I mean by it's laying funny. It is emphasizing texture, like massively, which for me is a big deal because I don't have a lot of texture. So if it's like emphasizing texture or like making it appear like my skin is more textured than it is, then that's an issue, because foundation's supposed to do the opposite if it's a good one, you know what I mean? So the fact that it's emphasizing texture, I'm not a big fan of it. Again, as it lays on my skin longer, I'll have a better idea of how it's gonna look overall for the day. Usually about 1 hour after applying foundation is basically what you can expect its best performance to be at. That is my personal opinion, that yeah, it's about 1 hour in that foundation is supposed to look beautiful. And if it doesn't look beautiful 1 hour in, then it's just gonna go downhill from there. So yeah, we will see. Put the eyeliner on, I put it on the bottom, but anytime I put eyeliner on the bottom, because they all tend to run, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that it's not gonna run. Even the best eyeliners, even my favorites, run a little bit over time, especially if it's hot and stuff. Although today's supposed to be a really nice cool day. Anyway, I am like all over the place. So I'm gonna set it because that's what I would do with any normal eyeliner. I would set it. So I'm gonna use the dark purple in the little Kat Von D palette, and I'm gonna set this. This sand color on the Dose of Colors kit that they sent me, I'm 99% sure it is way too nude for me, that it's not gonna be particularly the style I would normally wear, but we're gonna just try it because I was sold, and so why not? So this is their lip liner in, what color is this? In Casual. Neutral to cool toned. That's not particularly like my style. I feel like I look much better with warmer tones on the lips, or neutral to warmer. Okay, let's just do this. Let's do it. It's just lip color. I can change it obviously, but we're just gonna try this. So this is Sand. Feel like I just whited out my lips. This isn't a terrible look. It's very dramatic. It's very runway. Yeah. So if the eyes were darker, like if I had added some black, then that's what I feel like this would be really appropriate with, because when you have such darkness around the eyes, the contrast of having some lightness on your lips is actually pretty nice. It adds to the drama of the look without making it too heavy. That's why they say to avoid like reds or bright colors when you have a really dark eye, because it's too much, you know? People's eye don't know where to gravitate to, and it's like too much. It will look really heavy even if it's not that heavy at all. So typically when you have a dark eye, you do pair it with a lighter lip. It's just, in my case, I usually like to go with something a little bit more pinky than completely neutral. And this is very, very, very like neutral. However, they did send me Dolly to add on top, which is a pinky lip gloss, so. Okay. I see where they're going. So it's very sheer. It doesn't add a lot of pink, but it did add like a little hint of pink. So I do like that better. I feel like this is much more of an evening, like I said, drama look. It's very like runway. So it's pretty, but I personally, for an everyday, like looking like a normal human being outside, I feel like I need to add some color to it. So this is the look. This is all of it. Everything that I've been sold on while I've been trying to go to sleep at night in the past month. So this is it. The foundation is looking a little bit better. I do really, really like the eyeshadows. I think it's very, very pretty. It's probably gonna crease like crazy on me, but we shall see. The lip color, it's just not my style, but can I say that it's bad for the look? No, I actually get where, I understand where they were going with it. It's just too neutral for me, so I'm gonna add some pink to it. All right, guys, so thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. I will attempt, I'm really, really bad at this, I know that, but I will attempt to come back this evening before I wash my face and kind of just give you my final thoughts on the foundation from Beauty Creations and kind of let you know if I ended up liking it or hating it. I'm not setting it because it does feel very matte and I have very dry skin, so I don't feel the need to set it, and I most definitely don't feel the need to set my under eyes. I feel like those are super matte and they're not going anywhere, and if I set them, they're just gonna crease like a mofo and it's not gonna be pretty. So for all my dry skin girls out there, you guys know we don't always have to set. It's just unnecessary for us. So that's a skin type like step. I believe it is, at least. All right, thank you guys so much. And in case you guys check out here and don't stay till the very end, remember to spread love, not hate. Mwah. See you in a minute. Hey, I'm back. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Anyway, it's been a long day. So let me zoom you guys in. All right, so first things first, these shadows are a hot mess. I kind of knew they would be, wasn't for sure, but they definitely are. And on top of that, I have like darkness here, which I think is just from the shadow creasing. I don't think it's the eyeliner running upward. Anyway, as for the bottom of my eye, the eyeliner is pretty much gone, but it didn't like drag really. Like it's still in place where it is still there, so that's a good thing. So yay on the Dose of Color eyeliner. Block Party shadow in Wild and Free still sucks. I mean, beautiful shadow, but they don't stay. Like, they're awful. They really, really don't stay. I can't really say I expected anything different, but thought maybe. And as for how my foundation looks, the coverage has kind of gone downhill. It didn't like make me oily, or it didn't break up. But I can say about the foundation that it fades nicely. It really did make my skin texture much more apparent, even though I don't have much texture on my skin, but it made it look like I had a lot of texture on. Not a huge fan of the foundation in general. So there's that. All right, in conclusion, I like the eyeliner. Block Party shadow kind of sucks. Foundation's okay. I was about to say the foundation's okay, but honestly, the more I look at this footage, basically look at it while I'm editing, the more I'm like, I am literally wearing no foundation by the end of the day. It had completely faded, and I put a good amount on. So my skin just ate up that foundation. For me, I don't think this foundation's okay. I think this foundation is pretty mediocre. And I hate giving a bad review, but that's just my honest opinion. I don't think it's even okay. It did fade nicely, as in when it all was gone. I think it was all gone at once. It wasn't patchy or anything like that. It just eventually completely disappeared from my skin. So that's my review on all the new little thingies I tried in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Mwah. Bye.